Hello, bonjour, salam alaikum. This is Seyed, and this episode is a collaboration between the Seyed show and K1 in USA. Freedom of expression, the beautiful whistle words, or in short, bullshit of the Western society. Friends, or the safest place in Western society to insult and disrespect Islam and Muslims and get away with it, now is standing up with one of the most hated magazines on the planet. Charlie Hebdo, a French magazine led by a bunch of sociopaths, except that we normally see sociopaths in the TV series, but thanks to France and the French government, they are now officially a reality TV show to spread hate and Islamophobia under the name of freedom of expression. As some of you may have heard the news in France, but for my fellow Americans who don't give a damn about the rest of the world or too busy with their first world problems, Charlie Hebdo magazine republished their cartoons of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, insulting the messenger of God and disrespecting the billions of Muslims around the world. And in response, French government loaded the streets with forces to protect the offending cartoons that were projected onto government buildings. This isn't the first time Charlie Hebdo spreads hate and stimulates the emotion of billions of Muslims on the planet. Except this time, the French government stands along with their French Muslims and the rest of the Muslims in the world. Just kidding. The last word was fake news. I just said it wrong. The actual news is that the French government stands with Charlie Hebdo since they love to use whistle words. Freedom of expression. Here's what they have said.
Malgré les intimidations, la France ne renoncera jamais à ses principes et à ses valeurs, et notamment à la liberté d'expression et à la liberté de publication.
In early September, Macron, the president of France, also said,
the freedom of press. This is because often this right to criticize or blaspheme again. I'm not thinking specifically of charliehebdo, but more broadly what we can see in our society. It involves, on the other hand, a common decency, civility, respect. Because in France, there are all these freedoms.
Except for the Muslims. As I was reading and watching the news, I was wondering if this so-called freedom is for everyone, or is it also like the rest of their policies is nothing but a cherry-picked freedom of speech. So I looked up and found this. Alain Sorel, a French journalist, was sentenced to 1 year in prison and a fine of $7,000 for a Holocaust denial by posting a photo on a website. Yes, I know what you're thinking now. Both are from the same country. Both made cartoons, but one gets away with it, and the French government cheers for them, and one goes to the jail. Meanwhile, I'm looking to see where the heck the line for freedom of expression got caught when they were putting Alain Sorel in jail for his opinion. Why questioning Holocaust is a crime, but insulting Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the billions of Muslims in the era of Islamophobia is totally okay? Look, I'm not here to speak about Holocaust, since it upsets a lot of people, but I'm here to remind you, just because it doesn't hurt your feelings, it doesn't mean it's okay to hurt other people's feelings and disrespect the religion and the messenger of billions of human beings. I'm here to tell you this isn't a fight between a secular mindset and a religious mindset, but this is about hypocrisy and deception being on one side and the true truth and honesty on the other. Don't be afraid to speak your mind, to stand for what is right. Don't let the politician oppress these words. And this is for the French government and to the President Macron. You condemn people denying the Holocaust, supporting Hitler. But let me remind you that what you're doing with Muslims is way more like being Hitler than those people saying it. You think Hitler was against freedom of speech? He had his own definition. To be clear, same as you do. You don't become Hitler by only having a mustache like him. You become like him by having double standards and by hypocrisy and manipulation when it comes to your belief versus the Muslim of France. If Hitler was alive today, he would cheer for you the same as you cheer for the magazine because of spreading hate on a particular religion and belief. I don't want to set high hopes for a government that doesn't see its own people in the same way and discriminates based on what they believe. But I do have hopes for the French people and the rest of the people in the world to stand for what is right, to question and to talk. Don't assume it doesn't concern you. It surely does. The world is round, and the place which may seem like the end may also be only the beginning.